From the rolling fields in the south to the boreal forests in the north, Saskatchewan's food bounty overflows. As an author and journalist, I've spent the last decade tasting the best the province has to offer and telling stories to help us reconnect with our food. I'll take you on a field-to-plate journey to discover our finest ingredients and the people behind it all. Because this isn't just my story, it's Saskatchewan's. Saskatchewan is known as Canada's breadbasket, but there's a lesser-known story behind some of our famous grains. In the 1850s, a new variety of wheat was developed in Ontario called Red Fife. It spread across North America, but then faded away. One farmer is helping it make a comeback.
Jen.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How have you been?
Good. My name is Mark Loisel. I'm one of the owner-operators of Loisel Organic Family Farm here at Vonda. And we've been farming this multi-generational farm since the early 1900s, and personally, myself, over 40 years, and doing organics for about 35. And Red Fife has been part of our life for the past 20 years now. It's an incredible story. My great-great-grandfather brought his whole family, along with a bunch of other families, on a CN train. They loaded everything on there, their livestock, their equipment, their tools to get started again, which is like incredible visual to think what that would have looked like. A train full of families, just moving. And they set up here. So we're in the Red Fife wheat field. This is our mainstay crop. It has these wide stems, which is great because it provides more of a covering, so it helps to snuff out some of the weeds.
So tell me about the heritage Red Fife wheat. What is special about a heritage grain?
A lot of it is from an agronomic perspective. You just need to get more crop. It grows tall. It generally is very competitive with weeds. It provides that extra biomass so that if you're working in your straw and your stubble, you're going to have a good base for the following crops. Red Fife wheat is a heritage wheat, meaning it has a long history that probably predates the Second World War. Red Fife became the best yielding, the best bred wheat in Western Canada and in the States. And Red Fife is the grandmother of all these newer varieties that we're growing nowadays. It's kind of like if you do the genealogy, it's right at the beginning. Going to Italy in 2004, a whole group of school children came through to our booth that we had set up, and we had a big plate of Red Fife sourdough bread. And they wouldn't just pop it in their mouth, keep going like, hey, free food. They would take it, they would touch it, and then appreciate it. And then people were commenting, saying, this is some of the best bread I've ever eaten. Where can we buy this in Italy? I said, sorry, you're gonna have to come to Canada. It's like we're just starting with this thing, When you look back at the story, Red Fife wheat was so important for the West, and especially Saskatchewan. It's one of these foods that was on its way out. So we'll check out the bag storage here.
Look at this old sea can. This is great.
Yeah. The bread basket was developed because of wheat that came in to the prairies that was able to survive the elements, the harsh winters, the short growing season and all that. Red Fife fit the bill, and it was perfect. It's a wonderful grain, and so are other heritage grains, and I think more people should be doing it. I think it's a superior food, for one thing, and it grows very well on the land. It doesn't need extra inputs like other crops.
Oh, look at that. Pretty good.
All these small towns like Vonda used to have their bakery. You didn't have to go far. And it was local production. So it's like, hey, there's no reason we can't do that. It's part of the rural revitalization.
So what does it mean to be farming organically and reviving these heritage grains and then sharing it with people. What does that mean for you?
A lot of what happens in modern agriculture, it just loses its identity. Once it leaves your truck and it gets dumped in the elevator, it's gone. With us, we have this connection right to the end consumer, and we develop those relationships, and it just helps bring people back to their connections with the land and back to connections with their food and what, real food is, not just something that comes out of a container. You take a seed and you say, well, it's just a seed. It's like it's dead. Well, it's not. It's like a little embryo, and it actually has a part called the embryo and all this. It's a living thing. Just add water and poof, you got magic happening. A bit of soil helps too. We're doing what my ancestors would have done with the same grain, just in different ways, using the best of the past mixed with the best of what there is now, but still working hard and providing good, wholesome food.
Mark and his wife Anita are growing organic red Fife wheat at a time when it's regaining popularity. This hardy grain is known for its quality and flavor. They sell the wheat directly to consumers and to bakeries, where it's experiencing a revitalization.
In Montreal, I was a baker in a small vegan restaurant, and some friends and I, we heard of a community bread oven. We were like, that's an awesome idea. I wonder if we could do that. So we found this little piece of land, and then we built our first oven. Looking back, it was impressive that we were able to cook anything out of it, but it was nothing like this. And we just started having pizza parties, and then people would bring dough and we'd bake bread. And it was sort of the oven as a center point and convergence point for a neighborhood around food that got me really excited about wood-fired ovens and bakeries that use them. We fire the wood-fired oven every night. Inside there is a 9-foot diameter dome. If you imagine a 9-foot fire just like roaring all night long, that heat gets transferred into the bricks. In the morning when the bakers come in, we clear out the ash, and then we have that heat. And so we are trying to find that perfect point when the oven's the right temperature, the bread's the right proofing, and then that's when the bread goes into the oven. Talking with some other bakers, they were saying how they had a hard time accessing really good grain. I thought, in my town, if I ride my bike for 15 minutes in any direction, I end up in the middle of a grain field. What a great thing to be able to access this wonderful grain that's grown in our area, and then sort of be the wood-fired oven hearth community connection point for food to keep that commodity that's usually shipped around the world here for people to eat. Almost everything that we make, all the breads and a significant portion of the pastries, are all just 100% red Fife. It's a wonderful old grain that's not been shifted or bred to be different, and it has a great flavor that when you're chewing it, it's almost like you can just taste more. So this is the red Fife that we get from Mark. Lately they've been delivering every week and a half, and that comes straight from the farm. So we don't have any fancy feeding mechanisms, we just lift it up. So I'll do that.
That's your workout.
Yeah, I joke that we have a bakery CrossFit here.
No kidding. So tell me, why the stone mill and not the more modern types of mills?
One is size. For us, the stone mill, it also spins slowly. It doesn't heat up the grain as much. We're looking for that kind of clumping so that we know that we're getting it fine enough to get the oils exposed. Red Fife is one of the grains that we've used from the start. We use it exclusively to feed our main sourdough starter that we put in all of our breads, croissants. Most of the things that we do here, we kind of just throw some in, and it kind of gives flavor and zest to all the products that you make in the bakery. So that's the secret.
Okay, Bryn, Saskatoon sourdough, one of the best sellers at Night Oven, right? Can you show me how to make it?
Absolutely, yeah. So I've got this bucket of dough for us to go through some of the steps. So it is one of our most popular breads. It's more of a white flour bread, but it's still, as you can see in the dough, there's still a lot of whole grain. It's around 30% whole grain in it. Still sourdough, so it's just flour, water, salt. And we decided to call it the Saskatoon sourdough because we're not San Francisco. We are Saskatoon. Seemed to make sense. So first, we have to take this big clump of dough that's been waiting and resting, and then this is called scaling. So we scale it to make the different sizes. So if you want to try one.
And so how big do you want it?
1 kilo, yeah.
How did you cut this so easily?
Well, I've done this before.
All right. That's about half a kilo.
This is a bench scraper.
Yep.
So you scrape it off, grab some, hit the table, pull it over.
Oh my gosh. Bryn, I'm not good at this at all.
Yeah, you're fired.
Look at mine.
A little bit different, yeah.
You make it look so easy.
Yeah, so these ones over here have been resting. And so you can see how they've kind of like slacked out on the table. We turn that upside down, pat it down a little bit, not too much to degas it. Pull the sides out and in. Pull the corners out and in. And then we fold it, just roll it up. Give it a pinch. There we go. Upside down, in the bend. Easy, right?
Yeah, it's so easy.
And again, just do it 100 times. No big
Okay.
deal. So upside down.
Yep. And flop.
Yeah, flop. Small pat.
Degas.
Yeah. Pull the sides out. In. Pinch. Yeah, out. Up into that middle. Yeah.
I'm here.
This guy. Up and over. And then roll it all up. Pro.
Oh my gosh.
Over. So as it rises, we don't want it to open up.
Right.
And then you put it upside down in there. Yeah.
Woo! Did I pass?
You passed.
Yay!
Almost everything that we do here is dependent on the skill, the attention, and the capacity of the people involved in creating the product. And what begins as just flour, water, salt really becomes something special as it heads out of the bakery and lands in different families, different couples, different people, individuals that enjoy it in whatever ways they do.
Bryn's bread is made with whole grain red fife, stone milled in-house and baked in a wood-fired oven. Through his dedication to the ingredients and process, Bryn is creating community around food.
In Saskatchewan, we've got resources aplenty to grow grain. And every day, farmers ship it away for somebody else to do something with it. And we've just never gotten our heads around, why don't we do something with it? It sounds like a simple concept, but one of the key things about adding value is doing something that's so unique that you can't do it somewhere else. I am John Cote, and myself and my wife Barbara own this little facility called Black Fox Farm and Distillery. We've actually got something really cool going on in Saskatchewan. We're kind of in a semi-arid location, we're landlocked. So when the grains that we grow start ripening, they actually start metabolizing a little bit different and they create flavors. And that flavor is going to be distinct from a flavor of that exact same grain that's grown, let's say even in Ontario or further south. And the Canadians came up with this great thing. They decided, well, to make whiskey taste a little bit better, they would add rye to it. We don't. We use triticale, and the neat thing about triticale, it's actually wheat that's been crossed with rye. So this is how it happens. I'm going to give you Distilling 101 in a really short period of time.
Yay.
Take the grain, you grind the grain, and you change all the starches into sugars. And you can do that in a whole bunch of different ways. We use enzymes because it's very environmentally friendly and it does what we want. The sugars can be digested by yeast, and that creates carbon dioxide and alcohol. Now the key is it makes a whole bunch of different kinds of alcohols and a whole bunch of different kinds of flavors. And that's where this comes into play. So distillation is basically using the concept that everything has a different boiling point, and so you can separate all the different components out by how much heat is added and how you separate it. And that's the goal. This is actually what comes off the still. this is whiskey. They're two completely different things. So if you smell it, and I would encourage you to do so, it's not very nice, but if you really smell it deeply, you'll smell that same smell will be in the whiskey because it's the graininess. And you can smell it.
At the end, you can get it.
Yeah. And so this is why a long time ago they came up with these rules and saying, well, this is terrible, and if you put it in the wooden barrel, this happens to it. This is better quality than that. If you're going to call it whiskey, this is what you're going to do. And so we call it finishing. So the idea of finishing is putting it into the barrel and then adding those flavors and taking out the flavors that we don't like. So I want you to come with me, and I'm going to show you what we do with it now.
At Black Fox, their whiskey has a unique flavor because it's made with triticale, a wheat-rye hybrid. It's also because they store their barrels outside year-round, which is almost unheard of elsewhere in the world.
All right, so this is where we store the barrels. There's a lot of magic that goes on after the whiskey's made, and the magic is happening inside these barrels. So the inside of the barrel, like this is one of the staves, and it's charred on the inside. What's happening is the spirit is penetrating into the charcoal part, so it's taking things out of the whiskey. Once the whiskey goes beyond that, though, there's a toasted layer in behind, just that, that golden toasted, like a marshmallow kind of a thing. And that's where the whiskey's picking up a lot of its flavors. Here, this is what's special about storing the barrels here. As it warms up in the sun, it'll actually cause that wood to expand a little bit, so it becomes a little bit more porous. And it just drinks that whiskey in, and then at night or next week when it's cooler, it's going to push it out again. So it's actually causing that liquid to move back and forth across that barrier. So very, very important. And people started telling us, well, no, this is bad, John. Don't store your barrels outside because, they're going to leak and this is all bad. And I said, well, that's fine, but I don't have a building to put them in, so this is where they're going to stay for now. Lo and behold, as the whiskey got older and older, and it was 3 years old and then 4 years old, we were finding that we were actually having very, very good results with storing the barrels outside, because what's part of driving the process is the heating and cooling of the barrels. And it's causing this whiskey to become very unique, and it is absolutely nobody else in the world can say they do it like this, because it's just, you have to be here in order to produce this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little bit of a sample, and I'll show you kind of what we're looking for.
Yay!
Because part of it is not every barrel is going to be really nice. And all this color is coming from the inside of the barrel. So this whiskey is made from triticale, so don't do anything with that quite yet.
Okay.
It's important that you get your body accustomed to it.
All right.
So I know it's still before lunch, but we're going to try this. All right?
Yay!
Are you with me?
Yes.
All right. So just a little bit. So you get a lot of flavor, but it's indistinct.
do,
It's just,
yeah.
it's kind of, there's lots. We want that really fine balance, something nice and soft and sweet and almost, we look at our favorite adjective is clean. That's what we're trying to achieve here. Is just, you want these really vibrant notes coming one after another. And the last thing you want is that peppery finish kind of in your throat.
So that clean, is that also the approachable nature of Canadian whiskey?
Absolutely, absolutely.
From the field to the barrel to the glass, whiskey's journey at Black Fox takes 5 years until it can be enjoyed. It's a process worth the wait.
This is Saskatchewan. This is who we are. And the other thing about something like this is sharing it with friends. And I think that's what's really special.
Cheers!
Cheers.
I made sure I had an appetite too when I came.
Oh, good job. Well done. Well done.
I'm gonna slice into the bread.
Oh, wonderful.
And so this loaf is red fife, 100% whole grain. And this is just flour, water, salt. So nothing.
Nothing else.
And I don't think people have an appreciation for how much the grain affects the flavor.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And even within different wheat varieties, that there's these huge flavor differences.
We make really great bread, but we can't do so without really great ingredients,
There are certain places that recognize it, but not enough.
No, I swear people taste it. You know, and it's like they don't know. It's like some like imaginary something, but they like it. The thing where they're like, "Oh, that was the best loaf of bread," or "That was the best gin I've had." That's what they're talking about. Is like somehow like a deep down acknowledgement of the.
Well, this is absolutely wonderful bread.
It's very good bread.
This is, there's so much flavor in it. The texture is, it's just perfect.
When it comes to real taste, it's like, once you open your mind up to like, this is the way it's supposed to be, wow, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna go for more now.
Yes, correct.
Stay away from the big box store.
Yeah.
Go to your local farm, your local market, your local bakery, distillery as well. It's like everything is right here. It's like, this is great.
And it's all about connecting it back to the land and using these really neat ingredients and creating flavors and just enjoying making the art form of making a nice product.
It's important as eaters too, when we're looking at what we're stocking our pantries or our fridges with, and it doesn't all have to be local, but if we can just be a bit mindful about our choices, and maybe there are things that we can go to our farm and get tomatoes, or just think about it a little bit more. And it's so unique to Saskatchewan, and that's what people don't think about, even other Canadians. Saskatchewan's always the province that, you drive through on your way to someone else, it's flat and boring. It's like, no, there's so much happening here, so many hidden gems and these incredible stories, and I think we need to promote ourselves more and stop being so humble, because we're amazing. And look at this connection right now. We've got the farmers that grew the grain, the baker that milled it, enjoying it with your spirits and your whiskey to come from this land as well. And it's all just tied together.
And you're writing about it too.
Yeah,
so
and I wrote about it, yeah.
For posterity, for history's sake.
All right, guys, I have something I want to share with you. We've made a triticale whiskey, this is about 5 years old. So I would just love if you would try it, because whiskey is made to be enjoyed with friends, because it's just a very nice experience. So anyway, to friends.
Yes.